I think there's another perspective, and I think to use the term domestic violence is a misnomer, I think.
Good morning. It's Sunday morning, and it's 8:17. I think it's now standard time. I hate these changing times. And what I was attempting to do this morning is I got my Tecsun PL-880 out, and as I mentioned in the last show, I've gotten several suggestions of how to use the synchronous detection circuit. And the concept of that circuit is to help the radio when you have a weak station that is fading in and out. And theoretically what it does is it removes the carrier, the RF carrier, and then replaces it with which is, let me go back a second. The RF carrier is causing this fading in and out. So it replaces that RF carrier with its own carrier, which is strong and stable, and therefore theoretically getting away from that fading. And so I was tuning around the bands this morning. I spent an hour trying to find my adapter. I couldn't figure out what I had did with that adapter so that I could use my external antenna. Well, it turns out it was hidden underneath my switch there. It was hiding underneath. It drove me crazy. So anyway, I got that back. And this morning, it makes a huge difference whether I use the built-in telescopic antenna or my external antenna, which is my G5RB, which is outside. For instance, I'll show you. Okay, this is Radio Australia, 9.580. Right now it's coming in great. If I disconnect the external antenna, it's struggling. Still coming in pretty good, but what a difference. What a big difference. That makes all the difference in the world. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a big G5RB. It can be something a lot smaller than that. They even make a G5RB Junior, which is supposedly good up to 40 meters, or I should say down to, you really think of it as down to 40 meters, which is 7.x megahertz. The normal G5RB, which is 102 feet long, is supposed to be good up to 80 meters, which is really down to 3.8 megahertz. So you could use a short one if you're not interested in going all the way down to 80 meters or 3.8 megahertz. So, and that's going to make all the difference in the world. Number one, it brings in, you can bring it in via shielded cable, so the noise in your workshop or your radio shop or your radio room, in my case, my office right now, is kept out of the signal via that cable. And I believe the way this radio works is that when you plug in that external connector for the antenna, it disconnects this telescopic, so you'll do away with that noise that's coming in there. So anyway, I got this station. And one problem, I'll let you listen for a second. I don't know if you detected it, but one of the problems I'm having is there's another station that coming in, and it's pretty strong. It's not as strong as Radio Australia, and if I go look it up, that frequency, I've got a couple of stations that are nearby that frequency. Matter of fact, there's one there's several at 9.579. And there's one at 9.575. Now what I can do is I can change the bandwidth, narrow it down, try to eliminate that station that's on the side. Let's try that. Okay, bandwidth is right here. Right now it's at 3.5. That's pretty narrow. I'm actually going up. So I had it at the narrowest at 3.5 kilohertz. Yep. That's as narrow as I can make it, and you probably would have noticed if I'd shut up is that the frequency range of the audio gets narrowed down because of that filter. Now this radio does not have a RF gain tuning dial. You can come over here and adjust via switch the sensitivity, and it's at max right now, and I may be overloading the radio with that strong signal, so we're going to turn it down. No effect, no appreciable effect. And there's the lowest, excuse me, the lowest setting. And you can see up here, well, let me zoom in a little bit. Up here is an indication of the signal and the signal to noise ratio. And you can see it's varying a little bit, not too much. And right now it's between 40 and 45 with the noise jumping all over the place. Now, let's turn that switch back up to get this most sensitive setting. And you can see it now, it's jumped up in the 50s. And that other station is still there. Now I could try tuning around, try that. I'll use fine tuning. No, the station is right on top of it. Okay. This is the station that I'm listening to, which is Radio Australia, is very strong. So using the synchronous detection circuit probably won't help it much because it's already pretty strong, pretty stable. It's not varying in and out. But we're going to try it anyway. Now, another thing I have to mention, and I'll zoom back out for a second, is this radio, the Tecsun the Tecsun PL-880. I got one of the first ones off the production line, and number one, the single sideband function didn't work very good at all. It was almost impossible to tune in a single sideband station. Number two, which is an advertised mode. It's printed right here, the upper sideband, lower sideband. So it should have worked. Didn't work too well. So and the hidden feature, not advertised, and here's a list of all the hidden features that they don't advertise. The synchronous detection circuit, let me zoom in a little bit. Not that you could still read it, but I'll try. Nah, the synchronous detection circuit is a hidden feature, and in this little chart somebody made tells you how to turn it on and off. So granted, it was not an advertised feature. So I sent that radio back, and about 3 months later, they came out with a new version of the firmware that controls the radio and said that they had fixed some of these problems. So I thought, okay, well, I'll try it again. So I got a new version of the radio. I don't know that there is a advertised version beyond the one I've got. They may be making some changes and not changing the version number. Don't know. It's kind of a little bit mystery they're keeping. And this one, the newer one, the single sideband worked pretty good. No problem. The synchronous detector circuit, I still couldn't get to work properly. Again, it is not an advertised function. And then another thing that kind of clouds this whole issue is that somebody got a copy of the picture of the control panel here from the manufacturer, and it showed these other functions written on here, which are not shown on here. Most of them are not shown onto here. So it was definitely that features were there. It's just they didn't quite get them working, so they didn't tell anybody about them. So we're going to try the synchronous detection circuit. Like I say, maybe this is not the best station. We can try some other stations. And according to this little chart, how you do that is you press and hold either USB/norm or LSB/norm until sync appears. Okay, so those are these two buttons, and I'll zoom in some more. Those are these two buttons right here. Let me get a pen here. My fat finger out of the screen. So here it is. I know it's not in focus. USB/norm, LSB/norm. So what you're supposed to do to turn on the undocumented synchronous detection circuit, you would also think if that circuit was working, these varying numbers here would not vary as much. So I'm going to write some numbers down here. See, we're getting 54, 56, 52. Okay, so we'll say 52 to 56 for the level, and 6 to 22. Yeah, 23 for the signal to noise. So we'll see if that makes any difference by selecting that circuit. So we'll push and hold. I'm going to push and hold USB norm. And there it's going into sync mode. It now says it is synced. It says right there, SYNC. It's synced. So let's turn the volume up. What? All kinds of crap. Definitely has degraded this signal at this point. Now, I have tuned down a little off frequency, and that was one of the suggestions, is once you get it in this mode, tune away from the specific frequency that should be on. So I already did that. Let's tune it some more. Let's go back to where it should be. Right there, 9.58000. Got that wobble. Ooh, really breaking up. And the readings are right now, there's a 51, there's a 50 to 55, so it's a little bit worse, but maybe conditions have changed. And the other number is, I saw a 9, a 16, There's a 6, an 18, a 4, and a 19. It's all over the place too. So actually, maybe a little bit worse. I don't know. It's not any better. And again, one of the suggestions, and it didn't get it, the person didn't send me any details exactly what he meant, but he said to tune away from what the frequency should be. So I'm going to tune away now using the fine tuning. No, that hasn't helped at all. Tune it up above it. No, just not working. Now, let me take it out of that mode. And when I do that, since it's no longer in single sideband, I don't get those other digits there. So there it is, and it is fading in and out. 9.580, which is Radio Australia. I'm playing too much music too. So I think that other. No, the other station's still there, hanging in background. Now, another thing that can affect that, I was told, and let me think of what the, what was it? Oh, the DNR, and I forgot, the dynamic noise reduction. You can, again, that's kind of a hidden feature, and the suggestion is that you turn that off. So we're going to try make sure I got it turned off. And to do that, you press and hold 6. Plus you had to, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, press and hold 6. See what it says. Okay, it's on right now. We turn it off. It's off. Okay, it's off now. So I had it on when I was doing the other test.
And I remember the very first time I experienced protocol, which is you're given the opportunity.
Okay, the other station's still coming in. We're still in and out. We're fading. Okay, now let's try the synchronous detect circuit. So we'll push and hold this button here. It's syncing. It says it's synced.
How involved was your family as part of that church community? I mean, were you just spectators or congregational participants, or you actively involved in leadership and all that sort of thing? My earliest memory is Mum
Still
sitting there with the
Still taking the audio and every once in a while randomly distorting it. Okay, let's turn it off right now. We're going to leave it on for a second.
and you'd see, the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You see a roaring fire, and then they'd move those figures into the fire. Pre-PowerPoint. That's pre-PowerPoint in the 1990s. The glorious days of Hillsong with Sheldon Lipstick and so on. And that
Okay, we can turn it off.
part of my memory. Anything else? How much a part of your
It's off. We're still in single sideband mode.
as well?
So we get out of that mode.
Was very much a part of our life growing up. Where we would have Bible verses on every.
Now, signal is still fading in and out a little bit, but it's not distorted.
She put them in the toilet, in my bedroom, on the telephone Bible verses.
So let's try the synchronous detect circuit using the LSB button. It's synced.
And we were always helping out with organizing these conferences. And my mother always said,
Still kind of
should educate the world.
wobbly audio. Let me see if I can change the bandwidth.
Into that really rich environment. What
Okay, when you're in single sideband, you get another set of bandwidths which are much narrower than if you're just in standard AM. And as you can see, that didn't help. As you can see, maybe I meant to say as you heard. Hear that? Whoop, whoop. Then we tried tuning a little bit.
And so that's why I remember Dad brought home one Sunday when we all piled into this beautiful Toronto.
So you can see it's trying to help, but it actually makes it worse. Now let's see if I can find another frequency that is not as strong and is showing significant signs of fading. Let's get out of this mode. Normal AM mode. So we had a pretty strong signal to begin with on that particular frequency. The only problem is we had the other station coming in, which I could not get rid of. So let's move on. See what else we can find. Yep, and I'm using my external antenna, so it should pick up some weak stations. One thing I like about this radio, it does not suffer from muting when tuning, so I really like that. Okay, there's another station at 9.760. But it's pretty solid, so I'm trying to find one that's kind of weak. And I can somewhat simulate that by taking the external antenna loose. Okay, the other station I'm hearing, I think, is like all across the band. So it could be a local AM station. And the fact that I'm using my G5RB external antenna is overloading the radio. That's what could be happening.
Yes. Shall thy wonders be known in the dark? Yes. And thy righteousness in the land of forgetful.
There's WWV booming in. You can still hear that station in the background. I bet you if I tune the AM band, I can find it. Here's a loud station.
This week, to live a more simple life. You can order Kyle's book, A Time to Plant, at AveMariaPress.com or find a link at our website, franciscanmedia.org.
Two stations again.
You're listening to American Catholic Radio. Time for Ask a Franciscan, part of our program where we respond to your questions about Catholic faith and practice.
Let's go back to that one for a second. right there. And I'm going to take the external antenna loose or off because I got two strong stations. Now I have nothing. I have either station. Okay, just for the heck of it, and then I'll call a wrap on this show. Let's turn this off, and I'm going to switch my antenna, my G5RV, to my Grundig. And whoops, I forgot what the station was. 10670. Turn that off. I'm typing the right thing. Or did they just go off the air? But I'm getting absolutely nothing. Oh, yeah, switch to external antenna. Okay, I'm getting absolutely nothing on the Grundig with noise. Let me switch back over to this guy. Turn it on. Turn this down. Oh, they went off the air. Either that or my switches. Oh. Okay. I got some contact problems with my switch. Let's go back to here. Oh, it's always something. Now I'm making contact because I'm getting the noise, but I'm not getting anything on that frequency with my Grundig using the external antenna. Now I could switch the leads to see if I've got a cable problem. Gosh, I'm already up 27 minutes. I'll do that real quick. So let me turn this off. It's off. And let me switch out the adapters. And I am in the external antenna mode. And it could be that I've got it switch went bad on. So we're changing the adapters. Let me zoom out. I don't know if you can see this. No, not too well. Okay, I'm switching out the adapters. And I'm going to hook this back to the G5RV. I mean to the Grundig. Switch to that. No. Isn't that weird? I'm getting nothing on the Grundig. So it's not the cable, apparently. Because when I switch, I get the noise. Maybe get the frequency again. Make sure I get the right frequency. I'm not getting anything now on this radio with no external antenna. I'll tune around a little bit, make sure I'm not in single sideband. We'll open up the bandwidth. No, there is nothing coming in at all. So what I'm hearing on the Tecsun could be coming in from overloading the radio, and it's on a totally different frequency. As I mentioned before, it might even be on the medium wave band, because I'm not getting anything on the Grundig 750. Okay, I've got to stop this video. I'm up to 30 minutes. That means about a 6 or 8 hour upload. That's the show. I don't know if I did anything useful here. I could not get any improvement on the signals that I tried using the synchronous detection undocumented option on the PL-880. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.